See this? Soaking wet. This is exactly why I'm going to show this next video. Because 2025 has been nothing but a shit show. The weather is just ridiculous. You can't do anything without getting wet in this country this year. Just won't allow it. So, with that said, enjoy the next video. I'm going to go get dried off now. Hey, welcome back to Mo and Dave. Haven't been doing videos lately. Been fighting myself on the whole thing. The brutal reality of living in Samar Island in general this past year has been an extremely mental challenge. Calbayog City in general, the rain and chaos, and the amount of typhoons and earthquakes and water outages, power outages, the unpredictable. It is really difficult. Since November last year, it has pretty much rained nonstop. And then January through mid-April usually is a dry season. And this year, it hasn't stopped raining. Just the other day, I went out to the van. I was putting the rack back up on it finally. And it was really sunny. It was actually too hot to be doing it because we have a painted black roof on that van. So every time my arm touched that black paint, it was hot. So I got the brackets on, rainstorm, come back in the house. Go back out, not even 5 minutes later, hard downpour. Now it's not just rain like back in the Midwest where it'll rain 3 or 4 days and then give you a break. This is mentally challenging, like I said. It'll rain 4, 5, 6, 7 times a day. I can't remember when we had 2 days straight without rain. When we rented the excavator, we had 2 days without rain. Towards the evening of the second day, I guess I should say, it did rain on the second day, but towards the evening, and I was okay with that. But the other days, it rained mid-afternoon, and we're in kind of a clay dirt mixture, so it makes it a sloppy mess. So 2 of those days, I got a half a day in, and you waste money. You can't predict this weather. And I'm sure my wife and everybody else is just tired of me bitching and complaining, but we left the house twice today and turned around before we even got out of the neighborhood. It's sunny on the front side of the building, dark clouds on the back. So you go out the front and you start heading to the back towards diversion, and it just starts downpouring. So you get dressed, you go out, you load up your gear, you come back 10 minutes later. The roads are a sloppy mess. Trucks and stuff, in and out of the dirt, drag the mud out on the roads. You wash your vehicle. You can't even go to the store a kilometer away, without the whole van being completely destroyed. And it's just, you feel like you're spinning your wheels and wasting your time on so much stuff. And you have these grand plans of, okay, wife bought the property, we file for the title, we're like 2 steps away from getting her title on the property. We wanted to get the rest of the dirt moved. We moved the first section. It's been a blessing in one way because we had so much rain, it really compacted that dirt down. Now we need to finalize the back portion of the lot, finalize the edging of the property, and that's going to take, I don't know, it'll probably take 2 or 3 days just to get that done. But we can't predict this weather here. And this year, you're talking with locals and stuff, they feel like the city is under attack. Everyone here is very exhausted from it. Now I know the Philippines in general has been getting pounded pretty hard all the way across this country. And it's not just here, it's worldwide. Flooding is going on everywhere. Earthquakes are happening nonstop all over the place. But when you're living here and you go through a typhoon, and the power gets shut off for 3 or 4 days, and we're fortunate. I shouldn't complain that much, but we run the generator. But when the power goes out on the island, there is no water, there's no Wi-Fi. there's nothing. And you feel desolate. You know, you're used to the Western culture, and you get frustrated really easy because, well, you've been spoiled most of your life living in the U.S. and it's normal. Recovery in the U.S. is pretty quick, but here you'll go 3 or 4 days without water. So we have a big trash can downstairs bathroom. We fill that up. We fill all kinds of water jugs up. We prepare for these storms. The first one I didn't prepare too well. I didn't have enough fuel, and it was hard to get fuel the next day to keep the generator running. But I think, you know, when you move to one of these countries, Asian countries, you got to really look at the infrastructure. The Philippines is not the best infrastructure. So the last 4 weeks, our Wi-Fi is in and out, and you can watch a video and it'll just keep kicking off. The Wi-Fi kicks off. You can't upload videos. You can't do much of anything. And when you call our Wi-Fi company, I'm not going to mention any names because, you know, I'm in a foreign country. Don't want to get in trouble for doing that. But it's 2 to 3 weeks, or, oh, we can be out there and then it rains all day and they don't show up. So we did a trip to pick up the wife's passport. It finally was done in Cebu. And they can't mail it to you because you got to turn in your old passport to get the new passport. And this is for her name change from 2+ years ago. And it all takes time. We finally got the email that it was completed, and we went to Cebu. And I thought, you know, last time we were in Cebu, I was going to buy the Starlink system. I'm exhausted from the local Wi-Fi systems here. And last time we were there, they had probably 20 boxes. And it's a little expensive. It's not too bad. I don't know, 30,000 pesos, $500 and something. But I thought, well, when we get to S&M Mall, we'll go to Texas Roadhouse, eat ourselves a good steak, and then go up there and buy that Starlink and hook it up here. And then I don't have to worry about the system going in and out. And it's been really hard. 4 weeks. Like I said, 4 weeks, 2 typhoons, 2 earthquakes, no water for days on end. And we get to S&M Mall, and we go upstairs to where they sell these at, and they are out of stock. And I said, can you call any of the other malls, your stores, and see if they have them? They're all out of stock, sir. We haven't had any brought in from Manila because of the weather. It's all right. I said, well, we'll just go to Texas Roadhouse. And we go in there and we sit down, and they come and give us a list of steaks they don't have. And it happened to be the steaks we really wanted. So it's just one thing after another. And I'm not making a video to bash the Philippines. I'm just saying, if you're not mentally prepared, and I thought I was, this past year has really challenged me in so many ways. It is hard. And I bought a coffee maker, and it was actually at, I'll think of the name here in a minute, but Ace Hardware. And we went in there and bought this really nice coffee maker. I finally got a good coffee maker here in the Philippines, and we got home, and we had it about 3 days, and the wife tapped the edge and it cracked it. I was still able to use it, but when I remember buying the coffee maker, they had replacements. So I said, well, let's head over there after dinner, not getting the steak we wanted, not getting our Starlink. And I said, we'll go over there and buy that coffee pot. At least 1 out of 3 things we should be able to get. So we walked back in the mall and went over to Ace Hardware, and they're out of stock. And you just shake your head. You're thinking, okay, well, we accomplished 1 out of 4 things we had in our mind. We got our passport, the most important thing, but the other 3 things we didn't get. We sacrificed a different steak than what we really wanted. We didn't get the coffee pot. We didn't get the Starlink. So it was an expensive trip. We thought we could bang out a few things, but what I have to say is, when you see something and you really want it here, you probably should just buy it, because it probably won't be there next time you go back, because the restocking system they have here is, well, it's horrible. Even in our grocery stores, 1 month they'll have our Heinz ketchup, and for 2 months they won't have it. 1 month they'll have ground coffee for the coffee maker. The next month they don't have it. We haven't seen pickles in over a year. We were down Tacloban, took a ride down there in the rain in the van, and they had real Philadelphia cream cheese, and I was so excited about it. I haven't seen it here in Calbayog City. So we bought some cream cheese and some other things that we don't get here. And when we came back to the store up here, guess what? The following week I walk in, they had cream cheese. I just shook my head thinking, this is unbelievable. So, you know, the rain here has created so much chaos on the roads and the storms and the typhoons and the cables, you know, power lines down and roads closed because you can't get through them, flooding, mudslides. This is a tough island to live on. Our windows in our apartment, this is a new apartment, but the wind was blowing so hard. These windows don't have seals around them like you would weather strip seals in the US, so rain and snow doesn't blow in. Here it's a vinyl window on a vinyl slide, a plastic slide, and they don't have weather stripping in it. And you wonder, you know, our son's room on the other side of the building, the wind was coming straight in. The water was pouring through the door jamb because they don't have door seals. They don't have a jamb at the bottom of the door. We put styrofoam tubes there just to keep all the bugs and critter out, but they don't have a door seal on the bottom, so it doesn't seal. And water was pouring through the window, pouring through the door, through the bottom of the door. We had towels all over in his room. Those are things you got to go through, and we were up all night long wringing those towels out so it didn't flood the whole second floor and go down to the first. And the challenges are real. Now, I would say, you know, I see some other YouTubers. You got Paul Old Dog New Tricks. He's down there in Dumageddon, and what is it, Joe Go? They're over and traveling around down there. They're not getting the rain that we do here in Samar, and it makes you start thinking about where you're at. But then again, Cebu got destroyed a few times. Power out. I think Gio in the Philippines, when it was Gio in the Philippines, he actually packed his stuff up and went south and left Cebu because the power was out for a week. And where we bought our van, and the Mayo, M-A-A-Y-O hotel there, right across from where Secura Motors is, they have a parking garage down below. It was flooded. Secura got flooded. They were shut down for a week. So it's not just here, it's just Philippines in general. We have another storm coming in, and this will be like the third major storm coming in 5 weeks, and it really is challenging, guys. So I sit in this room and just watch videos, try to get the drawings done for our future house on our property, if we could ever get back on it, get some work done. We can't even build a storage shed there so we can start bulking up supplies because the winds are so bad, it'll just shred it. And we don't want to build some expensive shed that we're just going to tear down later. So the challenges are real here, and we're hoping, 2025 has just been a disaster all year long. I can't even tell you how many times the power has gone out. I can't tell you how many times the water has been shut off out of nowhere. No emails from the water company, no nothing. It's just you wake up one day, you jump in the shower, and you're halfway through, and all of a sudden your water's off. And you're thinking, son of a... You got to get water out of the big bucket downstairs to rinse off all the soap. And, one morning I woke up and we didn't know the water was out. Power was on. I started doing laundry. Boom, water's gone. Didn't have water for 3 days. And they'll blame it on, there was a mudslide or this or that. But when you really look at it, they keep fixing the same things instead of really looking into the future saying, okay, we need to change this because what we're doing doesn't work. And it happens here a lot. Now, we took off. We're going to go to Davao, and I don't know if you guys watch Commander Doubt, his YouTube channel. He's a great guy. I've met him personally several times. I've had a lot of conversations, and he's actually helped me out when I ask him questions how to travel somewhere and what ferries to catch. And just a really, really good guy. And I said, man, we're going to come down to Davao and get out of this northern, Samar rainstorms every day, and try to enjoy some non-rain days and good food and have fun. So we jumped in the van, we loaded up, we headed south, went to San Ricardo, took the ferry across, and as soon as we hit that island, man, the roads were beautiful blacktop and the coconut trees down both sides of the road. There wasn't trash everywhere. It was such a clean place. So we headed all the way to Davao. We checked into the hotel, and we stopped in Surigao for the night. And then the next day we had about 6.5 hour drive, and we just really enjoyed it. It didn't rain that day. We were out of the rain area, the rain band, and we get down to Davao, and I think we got there a day before Commander Doubt pulled into town, but we just wanted some time to check it all out. Got pulled over twice. It's not very well marked, but they have people on every corner to write tickets. But very fortunate, stated we just got in town, and we really liked it for the 2 days we were there, but we had to head back because a typhoon occurred, and we knew we couldn't take the ferry across for 2 or 3 days. They'd shut it down, maybe 4 days. And we knew that this was a pretty bad typhoon coming in, and we didn't know it was going to come here. We thought it was going way north, and it changed its way. And we had to get in the van at 5:30, our second morning there. 5:30 in the morning, we jumped in the van. We drove 8-9 hours, and we caught the ferry, the last one at 3 p.m. that they were going to have go out. They were shutting it down. And we got back to San Ricardo, and it is just mountain range trying to drive through there about 5:30 at night. It's about a 2-hour ferry ride, but 30 minutes offload and get going. And we jumped in the van and we drove, and the winds were getting so bad and the rain. And I said, we just got to get home. We have to get home. So we drove through the night, and the roads are just pitch black. There's no markers on the roads. It's hard to see. You got rain coming. So we just took our time. And once you hit Samar, the roads turn into it's worse than a country road in the U.S. I'm telling you, it's just beat to hell. You got to go slow. It rocks the heck out of you. We rolled in at 2:30 in the morning. So we're pretty much on the road from 5:30 in the morning till 2:30 in the morning. So about, just call it 21 hours of straight travel. And we got here, and her brother came over, brought the scooter back. Her cousin came over. They brought their scooter. We parked them all in the garage. Everybody piled in the house, and thank goodness, because her roof got blown off and flooded out her house. And so we made it back in time to give some safety to the family. And we had plenty of food in the home and frozen stuff. And we had the generator. We fired it up and left the generator running 24 hours. And I'm just telling you, when you come to the Philippines, you think it's all beaches and beautiful stuff, but you're going to have to deal with some real honest truths here, that the infrastructure is miserable. And you've got to prepare yourself, not only physically for the storms, but mentally for what happens after the storms and during the storms, and how much it continues this whole year. And I can't count one time since last November, the last 12 months, where we had 5 days without rain, 4 days without rain. I don't think we even had 2 days without rain. And it really puts a stop to your life. The previous 2 years, we were on a scooter traveling all over the place, loading up, just having a good time. But this year, and you only get so many years to your life, but this year has been, to me, a complete washout. So if you're coming to the Philippines, make damn sure you're mentally prepared and ready for it, because it'll test every single fiber in your soul. So guys, sorry to make this a long video, but reality of the Philippines, it's real. Take care, everybody.